Hello, 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 hello. I guess I should probably be on this one. What up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Our goal is active. We can have the spice help us, pay our bills. Because, we're starving artists over here. Welcome. I hope everybody's having a fantastic Thursday, and welcome to the first official still needs an intro show of Canada versus Maga. Because Maga has got to be, like, the core of the Trump regime, of the Trump hostile takeover of the government, the dismantling of our southern neighbors, whom we, get in fights with once in a while, but hey, listen. Every family's got struggles. So, as much as the Americans have been asking Canada for help, I finally decided that, you know what? Hi. I'm here to help. I am a Canadian. Welcome to the Canadian channel. That's what we do here. We're gonna help Americans, and we're gonna help Americans by talking about how wrong MAGA is, and what is going on, and to help Americans keep informed, help give Americans the tools that they need to argue with these goddamn idiots and embarrass them on a regular basis. So that way they are more prepared when it comes to town hall meetings, when it comes to dealing with people in their government. It's cool. Friendly Northern Canadian, here to help. You need my help, you call me. You need to deal with a MAGA, you call me. Because I don't like bullies, and I enjoy shitting on fascists. Listen, you get something out of it, I get something out of it. It's a fair trade deal. The art of the deal, if you will. Now, first thing we gotta do. Tesla stock. As it rockets itself into the core of the earth. Congratulations, Elon Musk. As you can see, despite having the secretary of American money, whatever the fuck you're called, Department of fucking Finance, or whatever the fuck you guys are called, I don't remember, begging on Fox News for people to buy Teslas. This motherfucker has barely moved and is continuing his downward trend, despite doing an entire ad campaign in front of the White House. This continues to drop, in spite of that fucking cry fest, bitch and moan that Elon Musk did on Fox News. Oh, what have I done wrong? Why do people hate me? Tesla's a positive company. I don't understand. To the core with you, to the core of hell, where you belong. In Canadian news, real quick, just so Americans that are new here have a good idea about how Canadians are feeling about it.
We're trying to keep the boycott because it is a powerful economic tool, and it's starting to have serious impact. And this is what we're trying to push. People power is having a big effect because it's undermining Trump's support with key states and key political leaders. Because when Kentucky calls Donald and said, "You just lost us, our bourbon market and our biggest market in the world, which is on Canada," that hurts. And when Donald says 200% tariffs on French wine, and I'm hearing from France, bye-bye, bourbon. So, and I say that we have to work across all lines now.
This isn't unofficial. This isn't like Canadians have to be mandated. This isn't like a mask mandate where Canadians are being told they are not allowed to buy American products. This is the Canadian people telling retailers and American businesses that they're not able to sell in Canada. Not capable. Incompetent, if you will. Unlike the Americans, we Canadians are not interested in being bullied by our government. This is Charlie Angus. Charlie Angus is one of the NDP MPs in Canada. So he is not the Liberal Party, he is not the Conservative Party, he is not a Democrat, he is not a Republican. He is in the NDP party. And surprise, surprise, in Canada, our government parties are actually working together across party lines to, deal with the crisis of our southern neighbors. So surprise, surprise, him being NDP is not relevant. Congratulations. Also, I would like to shout out and congratulate the gaming industry for finally deciding to fucking unionize. Good job, gaming industry. If I pull it up over here, I do believe, if I am not mistaken, it is, who is it? It is the, well, actually, let's just open it. Here we go. Communication Workers of America, CWA, announced that an industry-wide video game union. Great news for game developers and anyone involved in the industry that isn't at the top of the chain, as Communication Workers of America, CWA, in partnership with the American Federation of Musicians, AFM, have announced an industry-wide video game union called the UVW-CWA, United Video Game Workers, CWA. Their aim is to help protect workers' rights, which is sorely needed given the absolute masses of layoffs over the last few years, which still show no real signs of stopping. Quote, this union, the creation of this union was not done in isolation. It is a cumulative effort by thousands of video game workers who have been fighting for years to redefine what it means to stand together and reclaim power in one of the largest and highest grossing industries on the globe, said Tom Smith, CWA's Senior Director of Organizing. These workers are taking a bold strategy, joining together to build power for workers behind the games that we all know and love. Our mission is to take back our lives, our labor, our passion from those who treat us like replaceable cogs, to empower our fellow workers to link up arms with the laid off, with the freelancer, with the disillusioned contractor, with the disenfranchised, and with the marginalized, with the workers laboring invisibly to keep the industry afloat, reads the UVWCWA's mission statement. We are going to create a game industry that works for us, one that nourishes its talent and invests in its future, rather than consistently seeking short-term profits. We are the ones that make games, so we must be the ones that set the terms of how we work. Good job, congratulations. This is a step in the right move. A step in the right direction to move this way, even if you think America is falling apart, even if you think that America can't do anything, even if you think Elon Musk, who is a known union buster, by the way, which is illegal, he admitted to that in a stream that he did, an interview with him and Donald Trump speaking, where Donald Trump congratulated him on his capabilities of doing that, and then brought him into government to do that exact thing. Correct direction, yeah, thank you. Despite that, people are acting, people are moving, people are trying to protect themselves. So congratulations, standing ovation to you, good job, don't give up. I need to fix this. It's shining in my face and I don't like it. It's a little bit dark in here today, but I would rather that than just be fucking ass blasted by the sun. Alright, so congratulations to them. Good job. If you're curious about how the industry fucks and big corporations fuck over the workers that make video games, I mean, I covered the whole debacle with Doom Eternal and its soundtrack and how that went for McGordon. So please go and check that out. It was a couple of years ago. So, one more thing I wanted to point out. This is Ron Filipkowski. Ron Filipkowski is the chief editor of the Midas Tech Network, just for context. Not that it really matters about this post. What I wanted to point out that NBC News has confirmed the Justice Department informed European officials that the United States is withdrawing from a multinational group created to investigate leaders responsible for the invasion of Ukraine, including Putin. I wonder why the guy who was meeting with Russian agents in Mar-a-Lago back in 2016 at Trump Tower doesn't want to be part of a multinational group that that might investigate world leaders responsible for the invasion of Ukraine. I wonder. But alas, moving on. In other news, the Minnesota bill, a Minnesota bill labels Trump derangement syndrome as a mental illness. This is from a few days ago. This was the 18th. So this is two days ago. And I just need this for context. I know we mentioned it a little bit, but we didn't actually delve into what it was. So I want to show you guys what it actually was. A bill introduced in Minnesota seeks to revise state law to include Trump derangement syndrome as a form of mental illness. The bill, introduced by 5 Republican state senators, would add to the syndrome TDS, as President Trump and his supporters frequently refer to it. So it's a dog whistle to the state's definition of mental illness. The bill defines TDS as, quote, the acute onset paranoia in otherwise normal persons that is in reaction to the policies and presidences of President Donald J. Trump. Quote, symptoms may include Trump-induced general hysteria, which produces an inability to distinguish between legitimate policy differences and signs of psychic pathology in President Donald J. Trump's behavior, it reads. The legislation specifies that TDS can be expressed by, quote, verbal expression of intense hostility towards Trump and by, quote, overt acts of aggression and violence against Trump supporters or, quote, anything that symbolizes President Donald Trump. How is it up to the state law what counts as a mental illness? My brother in Christ, welcome to America. The president has long invoked the fabricated diagnosis as a way to label his political opponents as mentally ill when they criticize him or express outrage in response to actions he has taken. So, actions he has taken is not, you might notice, is not paranoia. Trump has labeled many of his fiercest opponents as suffering from TDS, including his former chief of staff, John Kelly, who called the president a fascist, and former reps Liz Cheney, a Republican, and Adam Kinzinger, there we go, a Republican, who investigated Trump's role in the attack on the Capitol on January 6, 2021. Many of Trump's Democratic opponents have similarly been labeled as having cases of TDS. Minnesota State Senator Glenn Gruenhagen, one of the Gruenhagen. Sorry, I'm being a dick. One of the GOP lawmakers who introduced the legislation defended the bill as addressing the, quote, irrational behavior carried out by Trump critics, not their differing political beliefs. But I'm not going to go too far into people's opinions about it. Let's take a look at what the statute actually said. So this is from Bill Track. So this is Minnesota, Trump derangement syndrome, addition to definition of mental illness. Introduction into the legislature. It was introduced on the 17th. It is still in committee as of the 17th. The introduced 49th legislature, 2025 to 2026. The bill summary, a bill for an act relating to mental health, modifying the definition of mental illness, adding a definition for Trump derangement syndrome, amending Minnesota Statute 2024 Sections 245.462, Subdivision 20, by adding a Subdivision 2451.02, Subdivision 29, by adding a subdivision. AI summary. This bill proposes to amend Minnesota statutes to add Trump derangement syndrome as a recognized form of mental illness in 2 different sections of state law dealing with mental health definitions. The bill defines Trump derangement syndrome as, quote, acute onset paranoia in otherwise normal persons triggered by reactions to Donald J. Trump's policies and presidencies characterized by symptoms such as intense verbal hostility towards Trump and potential acts of aggression against Trump supporters. Remember, I would like to keep in mind, Trump supporters think no thank you is an act of violence and an act of aggression. Saying no is to them is an attack and an act of aggression. So the proposed definition suggests that TDS manifests as an inability to distinguish between legitimate policy differences and what the bill characterizes as Psychic pathology. Yeah, that says psychic. I thought I was losing my mind there. I'm like, did they really use the word psychic? But yes, psychic pathology. Let me make this a little bigger for you. In Trump's behavior, specifically, the bill would insert language about TDS to existing legal definitions of mental illness in sections related to mental health services and diagnostics, effectively treating it as a clinically recognizable condition. While the bill appears to be satirical or politically motivated, it's just the AI thinks it's recognizing this as fucking satirical. It seeks to formally codify this concept into Minnesota's health statute, potentially allowing for clinical recognition or treatment of what the bill describes as syndrome related to emotional responses to political leadership. So I do want to point out that, like, the results that this kind of, should a bill like this exist, right? Should a bill like this come to pass, you would have people, because you can lock up people who are suffering from a mental illness without their consent. It's a way of policing dissent. It's state police. And, like, as you can see, this is not being designated as like into the DSM-5, right? Into the list of actual mental illnesses and issues by professionals. This is a piece of legislature, and as a piece of legislature, it just recognizes this thing that requires and has no professional diagnosis. It's just, we think you have this, therefore fuck you. This goes in line with, by the way, America going around and just disappearing people and sending them to El Salvador, whoever they are, because the list of people has, against the court order, by the way. I would also like to point out, by the way, that as much as these MAGA idiots, these MAGA morons, want to claim that there has been no act of war against Canada, and there is no war declaration going on, ICE arrested and detained a Canadian. Like, the Trump regime is already, the Trump administration is already, Donald and his dipshits are already arresting our people based on nothing, and we'll talk about that more later at another time. But let's take a look. Who's sponsoring this bill? All right, so let's take a look. We've got Minnesota, Glenn, Senator, Capitol Office, Minnesota Senate Building, 6095 University Ave West. Business address is 624 13th Street East in Glencoe. There's his phone number if you care to contact your representative or as somebody who is representing the people of America. Next one, we've got Nathan Wessenberg. Minnesota State Building, same building. Phone number. Alas, there you go. Steve over here. Phone number. Home address, 1646 Cherry Street East. Phone number if you want to contact your local area or non-local area. You're allowed, as outside of a state, you're allowed to contact them. Eric over here, 651-296-5655 if you care. If you care. And of course you have Justin Ecorn over here. Same thing. The number is 651-296-7079. However, unfortunately, I don't know if you're actually going to be able to get in contact with little Justin over here. As GOP State Senator Justin Ecorn arrested on suspicion of soliciting sex with a 17-year-old girl. Minnesota State Republican calls for immediate resignation. This is as of March 18th. Wow. Go fucking figure. Good job, fucko. Let's see. State Senator Justin Ecorn, Republican Grand Rapids, was arrested in Bloomington on suspicion of soliciting a minor for sex. Bloomington police led Ecorn, 40, to believe he was talking to a 17-year-old girl, and then met the senator and arrested him on Monday near the 8300 block of Nomandale Avenue, according to Bloomington Police Department press release. Senator Republicans have called for his resignation. I wonder if the Senate Republicans will call for Trump's resignation on the release of those Epstein files that we're never going to get. Quote, "We are shocked by these reports and this alleged conduct demands an immediate resignation. Justin has a difficult road ahead and needs to focus on his family," Senate Republicans said in a statement Tuesday afternoon. Police say they saw Ekorn arriving in the area by pickup truck, arrested him without incident outside of his vehicle. Ekorn, who also serves as chair for the Iron Range Resource and Rehabilitation Board, was booked into the Bloomington Police Department jail and will be transported to Hennepin County Adult Detention Center, the release said. Felony charges of soliciting a minor to practice prostitution are pending, Bloomington police said. Quote, "As a 40-year-old man, if you come, ellipses, looking to have sex with someone's child, you can expect that we are going to lock you up," Bloomington Police Chief Booker Hodges said in the release. Quote, "I have always advocated stiffer penalties for these type of offenses, ellipses. We need our state legislature to take this case and this type of conduct more seriously." Senate Majority Leader Eric Murphy, in a statement said the allegations against Ekorn is deeply disturbing. Quote, "The felony allegations against Senator Ekorn is deeply disturbing and raises serious questions that will need to be answered by the court as well as his caucus of constituents." Unlike her Republican colleagues, Murphy did not call Ekorn's resignation. Ekorn's arrest complicates efforts by senators to expel the Democratic Senator Nicole Mitchell from the upper chamber following her arrest last year after she was alleged to have burglarized her stepmother's home. Although some Democrats, including Governor Tim Walz and some of Mitchell's colleagues, have called on Mitchell to resign, the ethics case against her has been blocked by Democrats who say expulsion should come only after she's received due process in the courts. Her trial is scheduled. Who cares? We're talking about this kitty fucker over here. So, alleged kitty fucker over here. Alleged by the police, who honey trapped him. Yuck. Whoopsie. Go fucking figure. But alas, what does that mean for this bill? I don't know. You know what we do know? Not an LGBTQ plus person, that's for sure. And what it should give you hope is that, guess what, Americans? Between this motherfucking Republican getting arrested and busted by police, the forming, finally, of the, union for the video game industry, this Justice Department informing European officials that the United States is withdrawing from things, these responses that Kentucky is giving to other world leaders and other individuals in the world. Tesla stopped dropping like a fucking rock. There is hope. There are certain parts of the system that is and are still trying their best to function on your behalf. You got this. You got this, kiddies. You can do this. Now, let us get on with Trumpster Bob, shall we? This is Trumpster Bob channel. He's got 2.3k subscribers. He's well known. He gets 2k views regularly. He's got breeding unicorns from 10 months ago. I don't fucking know. Yes, there was also a Tesla Cybertruck recall. Yep. Expect to see regulations on Cybertrucks and, like, the actual, like, demand for recalls being more strictly adhered to against Tesla. Cybertruck never should have been allowed to the market in the first place. I agree. I definitely agree with that. You got 2 wisdom teeth extracted and you have to work tonight? Yikes. Good luck. I feel for you. I've never had mine pulled, but I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot of stories. So, he's done 2 streams since yesterday. But we're talking about this one that he streamed yesterday while I was live. Now, this is 2 hours long. I am not necessarily going to cover the entire 2 hours, but we're going to take a look. I was informed that he was talking about Canada, so we're gonna find out. We're gonna see what Trumpster Bob has to say. And for anybody who doesn't know, Trumpster Bob is a longtime Trump supporter. Like he's not new. He's been around. And again, I would like to remind you, we currently have our Unleash the Spice goal going. 5 super chats of any amount, and we knock out our hot sauce. We still haven't even opened all of these. If the super chats break $20, I take a like a full shot of it as opposed to just a little dipstick. So speaking of dipsticks, let us begin. Oh, am I gonna get copyrighted now? What's happening? What's happening? Are we Bob? Does he know we can see him? He's just schmoozing. He's just schmoozing the camera. He's trying to seduce us. Oh, did he realize his camera was on? Did he? Oh. Yeah, he did. His camera wasn't supposed to be on that whole time. Oh boy, alright, we're gonna jump ahead here.
Well, what's going on, America? I tell you what I know's going on. The astronauts have been returned to planet Earth. That's a big deal. You heard what Trump said. Joe Biden just said.
Yes, congratulations to the astronauts that finally got brought down. Good job on actually following through on something that Biden had agreed to and set up back in August, and then finally getting around to it. Big preach. We're glad that they're home safe.
To hell with them. I told you that. It was obvious. Hell, if you're an astronaut under anybody like Joe Biden, you might be stuck up there for the rest of your life. They might not send you any food or water or anything. They just don't care about you.
So what does he think that the astronauts were surviving on from when they got stuck all the way till now? Or even all the way until Trump was sworn into the office in February? Like, what does he think that they were eating? Does he think there were more astronauts and they were eating each other? Let's see. In August, Biden made the deal to get them down, right? Because he had to negotiate with Elon, because of course he had to negotiate with Elon, because Elon's a fucking monster. But August, let's just assume August, September, October, November, December, January, February, by the time Trump's actually, like, operating in office. And then it's not until a whole nother month. Sure, yeah, they didn't get any food or water or assistance or anything that entire time, because humans can just survive in space without food or water for ever, I guess. Thank you so much, Jessica Johnson. Very much appreciated.
Democrats.
And Pibble Monk for 2. Gotta love how Maga just makes stuff up to be mad about. Well, and then that's a lot of it, right? That's a lot of it. It's just they're just angry. Like we've been saying, Maga's winning. This is them winning. And they're still just incessantly bitching. They're just still incessantly the victim. They're still just incessantly. Like, have you ever won anything before in your life? Or do you just not know how to win? It's baffling, truly.
Do not care about you.
One thing that I think people like Trumpster Bob make the mistake of, people like Marcy, people like Blonde One, people like this, make the mistake. Just because the Democrats don't care about you does not inherently mean Donald Trump does. So, if you believe that the Democratic Party doesn't care about you and isn't interested in you, or you think there are some that do and some that don't, that's fine. That's a fair criticism. I'm not gonna tell you you're wrong about that. That doesn't mean that automatically the Republicans do care about you. I'm sure there are some that do and some that don't. So you need to learn these lines of demarcation that X doesn't always equal Y.
What's up, Spin? No, I don't know what that is. So Elon Musk.
April's also pointing out in the chat, oh, astronauts, let's just pretend there wasn't plenty of food and water and other people and a mission to do and not mention Soyuz escape shuttle that was docked the whole time. Yeah.
Musk went up and got the astronauts back.
Do you think that Elon actually went up? Is that what you're suggesting, sir? You think that Elon Musk was on a rocket going into space to go get them? You think? I wish Elon would ride on one of his rockets, I'm not gonna lie.
Imagine that. Who's funding all of this radical left destruction that we're seeing? Have you thought about it? It's pretty obvious to me who's doing it. We know it's the radical left, but where's all that money coming from to finance these people going around doing all what they're doing?
What are they doing? What are you talking, sir? Sir? Are you saying that it cut? Like, are you talking about like the Teslas getting vandalized? Is that what we're talking about? Oh, what happened here? Let's just fix that real quick. There we go. Is that what we're talking about? Because, huh? What? Because that doesn't cost money.
Destroying. That's all they know how to do is destroy. They don't know how to build anything. These people are worthless. They belong in prison.
Uh-huh. Tell that to any left-leaning country. Good luck.
No, I don't
Who's
know.
the one taking a chainsaw, literally and figuratively, and running around the government? Literally destroying things and killing people? Is that the Democrats doing that? Alright.
I'll play a Halo. Yeah, okay, you can go out of here. We don't need your kind of trash in here. You're gone. Bye-bye. I got 1 billion blocks in me for all of you left-wing libtards. I got no problem with blocking your ass. You don't even make a complete sentence, Rhea. What are you talking about here? What does that even mean? Is that English?
Dead
No,
air!
toddlers don't know what sex is, so toddlers don't come out as trans, but I don't like your filthy cunt over here either, so you got to go. Bye-bye.
What? I don't... Sir, the act of doing the sex is not the same as having genitals and doing and knowing about your body and your personality and who starting to build an identity about who you are. Studies have shown that children as young as toddlers start forming a sense of self. When you're talking about how people identify themselves, you have to base it on what they are saying because you don't have another choice. You don't have special knowledge. They have the special knowledge because it's their experience. This is like me saying, oh, you don't have a driver's license, therefore you can't get hit by a car. Fucking what? Pimplebug45 said, quote, it would be nice if black people weren't always getting killed by police and trans people got to use public bathroom safety. Radical leftists! Yeah, go figure. Yeah, go fucking figure. Imagine people just having access to basic amenities. I can't imagine a world. Good God. Hey, you want to know one of the only companies in America that's right now that's actually not like plummeting into the fucking dirt? Where they all belong? Costco. You want to know why? Costco has a good history and rapport with both its workers and the public, and instituted their own DEI practices, because they were like, oh, you're not gonna force us to do this? In fact, you're gonna tell us not to do it? Fuck you. We're gonna do it anyway.
I don't know what that means. I don't even know what Liger means, so. Sounds like.
Yes, you're proud of making statements when you're ignorant and don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah, we know, you're Maga. It comes with the territory.
Made up word, a pretend word. Instead of speaking proper English, you're just making up words. I think
all words are made up.
I need to dump you too, is what I think. I'm gonna block you too.
You see this? Like, again, your typical manga, they're so fragile. They see something they don't understand, go, I don't understand what that means. That's just made up and stupid. I must hide from it. Who the heck is he talking to? His live chat. We can't see anything that's in it because he's blocked everybody. This is also on Restream, so I don't know if he was also streaming to more than just YouTube, but, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll block all of them. I don't care. We don't need no left wingers over here. You people are just retarded people. You're stupid as fuck.
You're the one who just admitted you don't know words nor English, sir. I think the only stupid person here is you. You don't get to be like, oh, I don't understand anything, therefore I run away from it. No, you're the dumb one. Yeah, alright. Oh god, good lord. Why? When did fascism get so fucking dumb? Like, I know that, like, I know fascism as a concept is stupid, right? It's just, like, not feasible. It doesn't make actual, like, logistical sense. Like, it doesn't work in any society for any functional period of time. It makes people miserable. Like, it's not a good system, and it's not a good way of governance, right? So it's stupid on its face, and anybody trying to do fascism is a fucking idiot, because that's just not how you manage people, and it never works. But when did fascists... I think stupidity is how we got fascism. Yeah, no, absolutely. Right, yes. But when this... When like, Stalin and Mao and Hitler were in charge, was it these people? Was it these people who got them there? Was it this? Good God. It's always been stupid, just listen to Mussolini. Oh, okay, fair enough.
You'd be better off served if you tried to swim to China. At least you'd be feeding the sharks that way. See, you could do some good with your life.
What does China have to do with the Democrats or being left-leaning? I don't know if you know this, but China is notoriously not very progressive. And not very much into civil rights.
That's that coffee brewing you're listening to. You know, coffee. Yummy.
You know, you mean that coffee that Trump put tariffs on and is now way super fucking expensive because Trump doesn't like Colombia for reasons? That coffee? The irony and the ignorance of just like, coffee, my lifeblood that I am abusing people to get. And not understanding that my own form of governance that I'm putting up is actually punishing me for having coffee. T-Bob thinks China equals communist equals liberal. Is it because it... Are you sure he doesn't think it's Republican because it's red? They have a red flag. That means they're Republican. What was the definition of Trump derangement syndrome again? Hold on, let me pull that up real quick. Let's see. Hold on. Let me acute onset of paranoia in otherwise normal person triggered by reactions to Donald Trump's policies and presidencies. Characterized by symptoms such as verbal hostility. Trump derangement syndrome manifests as an inability to distinguish between legitimate policy differences and psychic pathology. I think this qualifies. I think this might be the Trump derangement syndrome. This dude made a fucking Valentine to his god. I think, guys, I think we might have found the Trump derangement syndrome. Guys, I think we might have found it. And I do want to point out what Lord Magic has said, because that's 100% valid. Fascism is not a legitimate policy difference.
I tell you what country I'm in?
No, it doesn't, actually. People can like Trump from anywhere around the world. That doesn't actually answer the question. Ben Davis in the chat over there said, what country are you in? No, it doesn't. An unreasonable love and desire for Donald Trump and his cult of personality is not limited to America. But it does not surprise me that American doesn't know that, because there's only America and not America.
I goddamn sure don't belong to no British dictatorship.
Who on the planet currently belongs to a British dictatorship? What? Wasn't Sargon like a huge Trump supporter? You know what? I should check.
Which is exactly what Britain is. It's a dictatorship.
How? Did they not vote for Brexit? Was that not a democratically done decision?
Fuck God save the Queen and King.
That's a monarchy, not a dictatorship, you dipshit. Not that that's how current Britain functions anyway.
God needs to send down a fucking earthquake to swallow that whole family up. That's my opinion.
Sure.
But then again, we do trade with communist China, which is a dictatorship. So we have a lot of trade going with two dictatorships, Britain and China.
Maga doesn't know the governmental difference between China and Britain. Maga doesn't know the difference in governance between China and Britain. Is he hinting that Trump is going to retroactively say the US is a branch of Britain and he's the rightful heir to the throne? That would be very funny. Gotta love that he's still using the handle T-Bob love. Yeah.
Or the main two. Actually, we trade with a lot of dictatorships. Just people don't realize that. Personally, I think we should.
People don't realize that because that's not true.
Open up trade with Russia because Russia's not a dictatorship.
Oh, brother.
Or a communist country. China is a democracy, and we should open up trade.
What? What? Britain is a dictatorship. China is a communist dictatorship. Russia is not a dictatorship, and now China is a democracy. Guys, I beg of you, please stop taking MAGA seriously and actually shame these people for their fucking stupidity. Publicly. Do it. You want these people fucking running your country? Because that's what currently is fucking happening. Oh my god. China is a democracy, is it? Yeah, you guys think that if anybody were to ask Trumpster Bob over here to, like, tell us what a dictatorship is, or tell us what a democracy is, that he'd be able to do it? I don't think he'd be able to do it, guys.
Communist country. China is a democracy. And we should open up trade with Russia and be allied with Russia and tell China and Great Britain to go fuck themselves. Pretty much.
Why do you need to tell what did Britain do that made you mad? That's the question, though. Like, you're already allied with Britain, so what did Britain do to piss you off that you feel the need to tell them to go fuck themselves? I'm curious. Like, I want to know. Why are you mad? What did Britain do to hurt your fifis so much that you think that you need to tell them, and tell them to go fuck themselves in what way? Like, stop trading with Britain? Like, okay. That's gonna hurt you probably more than it's gonna hurt them, but what? What?
They ought to be paying us to sell their products in our country. Like, quite literally, they should be paying us so much money that the American people are getting rich off of it.
You know that there are taxes that companies pay, right, to operate in countries, and regulations and rules that they have to follow? You're part of the party that is currently actively saying they're going to deregulate all these things. So, what are you talking about? Yeah, this video is over 2 hours. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
China selling their products here. And Great Britain. Don't you think that they should pay the American people money to be able to sell their products here?
Don't you think that the fact that you're getting technology and phones for cheap is them paying you? You basically have a massive fucking discount? Okay, but the more pertinent question is why? Yeah, why would you think that? I'm curious. I think the UK PM supported Zelensky after his visit to the White House. Well, yeah, everybody supported Zelensky before his trip to the White House, during his trip to the White House, and after his trip to the White House. There was literally an emergency meeting of everybody except America. Everybody was there except Donald, it's just an escalation of the way Donald Trump was treated at the Paris Accords, where he was left standing there looking dejected, trying to look at the floor past his fat ass. Yeah, no, front ass. Just pouting because as the rest of the leaders of the world are all shaking hands, smiling, having a good time, laughing at Trump, well, Melania and Ivanka are making googly eyes at fucking Justin Trudeau. Hey, listen, we called him Prime Minister Centerfold for a reason, all right?
And shouldn't we get a percentage of that money? And not the government? They shouldn't get all of that money.
They pay taxes to operate. The money goes to the government. The government invests that money in the people. So, like, you have roads and electricity, infrastructure, scientific advancements that make your life easier and better and allow you to even have these products in the first place. Food stamps. Subsidies for American workers and American farmers. That's where taxes go. That's what taxes do. You are getting that money. You're just not getting it in the form of a paycheck in the bank. You're getting in the form of product and usability. It sounds like he wants UBI. That's a really good point. Like, are you going to pay? All right, let's say we do this. Let's hypothetically make this. Let's look at this for a second. So the police go away. The firefighters go away. The judicial system goes away because that's all taxpayer stuff. All that goes away. Your electricity goes away. Your subsidies for your farmers goes away. Everything goes away. The whatever maintenance happens on your road and your property and near your property all goes away. Water, everything. But instead, you pay no taxes, and the government takes a smaller percentage just to maintain operating costs, and then you get the rest of the money for any business any dollar that is sold by a non-American company in America, right? And you get a percentage of every dollar, right? Let's pretend that's the way it works. First off, how much money do you think you're going to make? How much are you charging these companies to be allowed to operate? Because it has to be low enough to make it feasible, and it has to be high enough that the American people have enough to spend money on these products, and it has to be enough to subsidize and make it worthwhile to hire Americans in the first place, right? So let's say you sorted out that balance, and let's say you got $5,000 a month. Let's call it $5,000 a month. That is $5,000 a month to get power, get food, like get your own water, maintain your property, maintain the road outside of your property, maintain any kind of active local police force, maintain any type of firefighting initiatives. Because you have to maintain the roads, otherwise you're not going to be able to get to work. You have to maintain the roads, otherwise you're not going to get to go get groceries or anything like that. So how much of your money do you think that would cost to... Like, how much is it on average to if a pipeline breaks? Is it fair that people who live on a main road have to pay to fix the main pipeline that goes to your suburb? Or do you, as somebody who needs that pipeline operative that delivers water to your house, do you need to pay a percentage to get that fixed because it's your house that's affected? I mean, logistically, I would like to remind you all that one of my first appearances on the internet on any kind of large platform was dunking on Adam Kokesh. For anybody who's new here.
They should be required to share the wealth with the American people. That's what I think.
So what does that mean for Elon? Elon's a foreigner, sir. No? How does that work when an American company needs to buy goods from a foreign industry to build whatever or make whatever goods that they're then delivering to you? Share the wealth sounds pretty communist, bro. Yeah, yep. Guys, this man actually wants socialism. That's what he's asking for. He wants socialism. He wants the wealthy to be taxed, and he wants that taxes to go into his bank account. That's UBI. Share the wealth. What are you, a communist? Yeah. This is communism. I guess that's why he likes China and Russia.
Britain and China don't like it. Well, they can go fuck themselves.
Why would Britain and Canada care if you do UBI? What? Actually, though, why would Britain or Canada give two shits if America did UBI? I would actually be for that, because you know what happens when the American people do better and are healthier and are better taken care of? It drives our industries as well. If the minimum wage in America goes up, it affects the Canadian markets in a positive way for the Canadian people. So yeah, do that. Sounds great.
So many good countries out there we could ally with and open up trade with. We could replace the entire European Union overnight.
What? With what? What are you talking about? You do know if America leaves the European Union, the European Union still exists without them. I mean, things get reshuffled and renegotiated, but that's already happening before America has left. It's been happening. Can you do that? Do you even understand what the logistics of something like that would look like? How? Who are you gonna make deals with? You've mentioned Russia. Russia, who breaks every fucking agreement that they've ever made, including, Trump was like, oh, the ceasefires won't be broke without me. They respect me. They won't break any ceasefires. They'll make a deal and they'll stick to it because they respect me. Okay, have a deal for a 30-day ceasefire. Oh, Russia, while I was making that deal, broke the ceasefire. Oh no! They respect me!
Oh, practically. Within 1 month, for sure, we could go to other countries, open up trade, give them enough money to get their P's and Q's in order.
So now you want America to do foreign aid and send money to other countries to enable them and their markets to flourish? And enable their military spending? So you just want to keep doing what America's been doing, but you just don't want to do it with the countries that you don't like for some reason? Didn't Trump say the war would end the minute he took office again? So much for that. Yeah, he said within 24 hours he would have a deal, and he didn't say 24 hours of which day. Oh, this dumb motherfucker.
We could have so much cheap grain being sent to our country that your food price would drop over half.
You want to not have farmers in America? An American grain? You want to get that from other countries. And you think that's going to be cheaper. You do realize that the other countries don't have to operate in America to do that, right? They would operate and then America would go there, buy their stuff, and then bring it back. Or they would ship it to America. But that wouldn't be operating on American soil, therefore they would not be part of the taxes that you're saying that you want to impose on these rich foreigners.
Everybody complaining about the price of bread. Well, open up trade with Russia, you stupid motherfuckers.
You think that... Let me check on what the grain industry is like in Russia, cause I'm not, I can't say I'm terribly familiar. Moscow, Russia. From drought to freezing damage, weather troubles in Russia, the world's top wheat exporting country, are expected to dampen wheat production in 2024-2025, with estimates ranging from 81.8 million tons to 86 million tons, depending on the source. Well, guess not. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, sir, but, nope.
Tell Britain to go fuck itself. Their grain costs too much.
You do know that part of the complaints that people are having for grocery prices right now is because of the tariffs, right? Like, the tariffs go away. Ideally, so do those additional costs.
Same thing with China.
Twitch is unbanning Dr. Disrespect? Ew, that's unfortunate.
I'd open up trade with a few of them African countries over there. See if we couldn't get a few military bases in there to protect our interests. America's the country that should be fighting for freedom, and we should never be allied with a dictatorship or any communist country in the world.
But you said you wanted to open up even if they are dictatorships a minute ago. And if you want to fight for freedom, then what's the problem with fighting with Ukraine, who are fighting for freedom? Can he name a single African country? No. No. I don't know why he's so mad at Britain. I have no idea. I have no idea why he's so mad at Britain.
What do you think about that?
I think you're an idiot.
But talking about the destruction that's going on across America still by the left. Whew, what a bunch of criminal crybabies they have turned out to be.
You think that, like, the damage being done to America right now is being done by the left, even though the Republicans are in control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency? Man, the left in America are fucking magic. God damn.
I hope every one of them gets caught.
And if they're in control, why are they crying about it?
Thrown into fucking prison for 20 fucking years.
crying and whining and wanting to weaponize the fucking judicial system and the prison system to attack political opponents. No, couldn't be Maga. That's the thing Maga hates, right? You know? So they would never do the thing. They would never be hypocrites.
That's what needs to happen to those people. But I don't think you got any further to look than the Hinkle family. As far
as random guy says, I guarantee you that T-Bob only likes Africa because he's getting scammed by a fake African girlfriend right now. I'm not even kidding. He got mad at West Union for denying him a transfer to Africa. Wow. Tesla vandalism. So here's the fun thing about Tesla vandalism. It's not the left.
Who's paying for it? The Hinkle family sends a lot of money to America, to a lot of nonprofits, and that's ultimately who's paying for it.
Lorenzo says the left in the U.S. is center right here in Europe. Yeah, it's the same in Canada as well. Your Democrats are actually further right than our center is in Canada. Our Liberal Party is more left, and then our NDP is supposed to be more left, but right now our Liberal Party is dragging the country further, more progressive, which I'm happy about. I'm good with that. A lot of you know what, next week, I have tomorrow off and then Saturday, Sunday off. Sorry, I'm on Debate Hub on Saturday, but I have tomorrow off. Next week, I'll actually introduce you guys to Carney. And so you can have like a little bit of understanding about who the fuck we're talking about and what his prior and current ideas and what he's putting forward. So that way you kind of have a better contextual understanding.
To me, it's like common sense.
I think the Alberta United Conservative Party is probably the closest to the U.S. Republican Party. Oh yeah, the U.S. Republican Party, as far as Canada is concerned, is extreme right. The current sitting Republican Party, the president is considered so like fascist, right wing, like is right extremist. We think you're Nazis, and we're right. By right, I mean correct.
And who does the Hinkle family belong to? Britain. So Britain is ultimately causing all of these Tesla cars to be put on fire and attacked.
The left is causing this? Where? Go find me a Democratic official that's been elected into office telling people to do property damage. Go find me a left-wing, even, like, reputable news source, either online or, like, mainstream media or not. I've seen places like the Midas Touch. I've seen places like Brian talking about this, and none of them are advocating for property damage. So go find it. How is this the left? Again, I would like to point out all the violence that has and damage, property damage, because I'm separating out like attacking an individual and like attacking human beings and destruction of property. Those things are just not equal. So the damage being done to Tesla and its stock market isn't vandalism. Tesla stock and laughing at Tesla stock dropping like a rock, this isn't vandalism. That's not how that works. This isn't destruction of property, right? This isn't like killing people, right? This isn't damaging anybody physically. The Teslas being destroyed or lit on fire, which by the way, they just catch on fire sometimes. So, you know. But alas, assuming that somebody did damage a Tesla, or even groups of people damage a Tesla, or even say, let's take France, for example, who burned a Tesla building down. Is France the left? Is France being driven by Democrats in America? No. Don't be ridiculous. That's just fucking silly. That's just fucking silly. It's not the left. So until you can find me rhetoric like, I don't know, let's see if I can pull one up. Hold on. Let me see let's take a look at Elon Musk, for example, and see his, oh my god. Oh, somebody AI'd Elon Musk's face on top of crying Kyle Rittenhouse.
There were 3 people right there.
Take a deep breath, Kyle.
Okay, that's funny. Not what I was looking for. Something that just popped up on its own. But something very, very funny. All right, you know what? You know what? We're gonna. That's funny. I'm just gonna leave this up while I go pull up what I'm looking for here. Because I like to come with receipts. I don't just make shit up. Let's take a look here. Let's see if we can find... besides, you know, his Hitler salute, the Nazi salute that he did, which is inflammatory and dangerous and abusive and can and will and is getting people killed. The time that he called a guy a pedophile because he didn't like it. I'll say what I want to say. If the consequences of that is losing a bit of money, so be it. Okay, yeah. The Musk caught renewed criticism for a tweet in which he likened liberal billionaire and Democratic donor George Soros to an X-Men villain Magneto, who's a Jewish Holocaust survivor. I mean, Magneto is. He wants to erode the very fabric of civilization. Soros hates humanity. Anti-Semitic attacks, criticism of Musk, tweets about Soros. Musk's likening Soros to Magneto isn't casual. It's a nod to harmful anti-Semitic tropes of Jewish global control. Musk has previously tweeted and removed memes using Hitler. A bad psyop. Investigators have probed whether the... oh no, that's something else. See if we can find something else here. Let's... what do we got? Elon Musk has often inflamed politically tense moments, raising worries for the US election. He tweeted out, "Civil war is inevitable." No one is even trying to assassinate the Democratic president of the and vice president. Civil war is inevitable. Anonymous executor distorted data to claim a surge in sketchy voter registrations in the United States. Musk amplified the false post, called it extremely concerning. Yeah, go fucking figure, T-Bob. If you want to know where violence is coming from, it's coming from Elon. This is besides the fact that he's gotten people killed. With the USAID cuts, you're talking about 3.3 billion people will die. Estimated. So, you know.
Going on against Tesla. And any attacks like them that are taking place in America ultimately is being done by the order of the King of Britain.
What? What? The King of Britain, King Charles, that walking corpse, is ordering an attack on Tesla for reasons of which we don't know, And the King Charles, the one who invited Trump for a unprecedented, never has happened before, second go see the king meeting. The king of the UK has no power. You're right. What? What? The king of Britain? Oh my god. The role of the UK monarchy is pretty much entirely ceremonial. Yeah, as a Canadian, yes.
I guarantee it.
Cool. What's the payback? You know when you guarantee something, you're like, or your money back. What do I get? What do I get when you're wrong? What are you using to back up your guarantee? Can I have your Trump Valentine? If you're wrong, can I have that? Would you put that up?
What's up, Hash Brown? Well, I'm streaming on 2 channels. I always do. Or most of the time I do. Not always, but most of the time.
Ugh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. We are 2 away from the super chat goal. Also, I'd like to Lionel Nation. All right, I don't know what that is, but I will take a look at it later.
But I do want to dive a little bit into the attacks that's been going on in America, and also just all that hate that we're getting from the left. Now, over here on my channel, you don't see a lot of that because I block a lot of that. And I got no leniency for that. Right? I'll block people if they come in here disrespectful. And all you got to do that is come in here with the wrong name. And I'll block you right there.
Talk about policing. I thought these people cared about free speech. You've got the wrong name, and look the fuck out, T-Bob's gonna block your ass.
You dig? The left don't know how to go anywhere and be respectful. That's why nobody likes them. So then they get mad about that, and they go out causing a scene trying to be somebody. And they found out that the only thing they turned into was a fucking criminal. A piece of shit that nobody cares about or likes.
You poor soul. Respect is earned, my friend. Do you think that you have earned that respect? And if so, how? Because that might be a little bit of your problem. People don't respect you at all, so they have no reason to look to you as any kind of authority figure and think that you have any real power in any fucking capacity.
That's about all we're really seeing going on. So I want to invite
imagine being such a snowflake that you have, oh, they're disrespecting me because they have the wrong name.
Kind of a friend of mine on here later on.
So fragile.
I'll be having a surprise guest come on a little bit later on. And we could talk about it a little bit more.
I don't believe you have friends, first off.
There's my live link. You want to jump in here, Hash Brown?
God, if I was live at the same time, I would take that link so fucking fast and make your head spin.
Or anybody else who's feeling itchy.
Is that me? Am I feeling itchy? Lonergy Vid says, "Watch out, Chesh. He was former special forces and will challenge you to the butthole challenge." Okay. Well, yeah.
What do you want to talk about? We could talk about a lot of things. We could talk about a lot of things. A lot of things going on. We want to talk about what a tremendous feat it is just to go up and get the astronauts and bring them back. That was pretty cool, though. Did you see the reentry? Capsule was coming down, jets start firing off, or the rockets as it's coming down, slowing it up. And then
Damn, science sure is cool. Government-funded science? You think? All right, we're gonna jump ahead. Let's jump ahead here. Let's just start to 30 minutes. Let's see. We're jumping ahead 15. Let's see what he's going on about.
Or maybe you get the party girl, right? Because she's used to partying. Because that's all they did in school. Man, you need to stay away from them young women and get you an older woman. You know, somebody in her mid-30s is good. I tell you, they're mature. They know what they want. Now, if you get an older 20-year-old, you know, like 28-year-old, 26, maybe, whatever, as long as they're mature enough, they're headed in the right direction with their life, then you'll be okay. But you got to have that maturity up there.
I'm gonna jump further ahead. I'm gonna jump to the 1 hour mark. We're just gonna. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see any of that.
I'm off the bare minimums a lot of times. I don't need fancy fucking food all the time, like fucking jumbo shrimp or fucking lobster. You get tired of that shit too. And I'll change up. I always change up from month to month. Like, you know, some months I ate pizza. I ate a lot of pizza, and then some months I don't. I'll just eat a little bit or none. I'm kind of like that with my eating. I don't like if I eat one food for too long, it gets old. You know, I want something.
Jessica said at least he's not saying like 18-year-olds. We only watched like 10 seconds of that. I am not willing to grant that he didn't. I'm not willing to grant that charity.
Different. So I'm always changing up how I'm eating. Soups, I don't do soups right now, but that ain't to say that next month or the month after I won't be doing more soups. You know, you can go get those full, and it's gonna last me for. I want to heat it up in the pan. Any kind of meat, really thing for by the whatever you're gonna put in it.
Cobes and Cobes and T-Bob cooking stream when? I'm gonna open up the transcript and see if he talks about the government anymore. Let's search the word Canada. Oh, here we go. Here we go. America's now officially blah blah blah. Yeah, baby. Okay, we'll just start out here. We'll start here. Give him a little bit of running.
A little bit of money every month. Invest your money into your equipment or whatever you need. And when you have enough, you probably have enough to build several cars. Then you just start making your cars or your passenger drones on your spare time. And that's what I plan on doing in the future. God willing. Yeah, baby. Why not?
You have to have money to invest in the first place, T-Bob. Do you have money? Or are you hoping that Elon's gonna cut you a check?
People on the left, they don't think like this. People on the left are just outright fucking stupid. They're retarded. And it is a mental problem here in America now. It is officially a mental retardation in this country. A lot of it is brought to us from Europe, believe it or not. A lot of it comes from Germany because they got so many fucking retards over there, they had to send them over here. England.
What? Is he just racist to white people? Is what? Is that's so like just historically wrong. The number of scientists that fled Germany during World War II, the amount of investment in the future that America made, that America has been coasting on, which is why we're seeing the decline, and why it's declining so hard, is the anti-science, right? But T-Bob here clearly likes science. He liked the rocket. He liked seeing all that cool shit, right? So clearly he's pro-science. But you don't get things like that without foreign engineers. NASA, the bread and butter of NASA is Canada and Germany. Like, the fuck are you talking about? Are they just mad because German engineering for cars is just notoriously more weathered and more renowned than America's cars?
In Germany, countries like this is where a lot of these retards are coming from. So, yeah, it's true.
I'd love to know what his scale of measurement is. Like, what makes somebody stupid, and like what does he think like the immigration rate of like German people from Germany to America and people from Europe to America is? Because it's probably about at the point where it's 0, which I guess he's probably happy about. Which, you know, I think a lot of people are currently happy not to go to America.
And even Canada sends their trash down here. We don't get good people from Canada down here too often. Oh, there's probably a few, and a few of them are probably rich, helping, provide jobs. But for the most part, they don't. They just want to take advantage of America.
Huh? So who are the good ones and who are the bad ones? Because I do like to point out that America does like to rifle through our fucking trash. So like your Steven Crowder, your Ted Cruz, those are all like duo citizenship people that were not able to be successful in Canadian politics or in Canadian industry, mostly because they're giant pieces of shit. So they went to America for America to dig through our trash because we didn't want them. But then you have like the other side of the coin where you have like your Jim Carrey and you have your Brendan Fraser and you have your like fucking Keanu Reeves, who were successful in Canada and then proceeded to be garner more success and money in America via like your Hollywood, right? So there's Canadians that are successful that then also find success in America. Then there are Canadians who are not successful, and so Americans dig through the trash of unsuccessful Canadians and elevate these pieces of shit. For example, Elon Musk's family, who fled Canada because they were part of the Nazi Party of Canada, and Canada was having fucking none of that shit. So after the war, they fled to South America. And then where did they come back to? America.
And did you hear Trump? They got a 250% tariff if you import milk into Canada from America.
Wrong. Oh, sorry, South Africa, not South America. My mistake. Sorry, I misspoke. South Africa. Thank you for the correction. Incorrect. So, I will cover this yet again because Maga can't read and will never be able to figure this out for themselves. And realistically, they're too stupid to listen to me anyway, but I will explain again. In the deal between America, Mexico, and Canada that was signed and discussed and created and agreed to by Donald Trump, there is a clause for if this then that. If import of dairy products from America to Canada exceed or reach a certain threshold, a tariff can and will be applied. America, this is something that, again, Donald Trump signed on to, thought it was a great deal until it wasn't. That amount, that threshold, has never been hit, and the tariff has never been applied. Not even once. This tariff and thing, this deal, was made to protect American dairy farmers and the American people, and to protect Canadian dairy farmers and the Canadian people and both of those industries. That's why it's there. This is something that helps the American people. This is something that helps the Canadian people. This is not a currently active tariff, and in fact has never actually been implemented and has never even come close to being implemented. The fact that we even accept your dairy at all, you should be thankful for, and maybe have a little bit of respect. Hi, Landon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. No, he's not referencing the reciprocal tariffs. This was a tariff that was put in... I'll say this again. When Trump was in office in his first term, the deal that he signed between Mexico, Canada, and America, we already had a deal, but it was coming up for renewal during Trump's presidency. All right? So back in Trump's first term, one of the things in that deal that he signed on to was an if this then that tariff. This 250% tariff is not a retaliatory tariff, it is not a new tariff, and it is not currently implemented and has never been implemented and has never actually been close to being implemented. It was if a certain amount of threshold of dairy products from America was being imported into Canada, then this tariff would be applied to anything exceeding that amount. Not, hear me out, not all, just any exceeding that amount. So if you have this much dairy, right? This much dairy. Let's call it 200. Say you had 200 bottles of milk, right? And the threshold was 200 bottles of milk. The tariff would only apply for things after 200 bottles. So you could import your 200 and you'd be fine. And if you imported 250, 50 of those bottles would be hit by the tariff, not 250. And again, I will be clear. This was a deal that Donald Trump signed on to during his first term that he called a great deal. Again, not only is that how the tariff works, this tariff has never been used because America has never gotten close enough to that threshold at all. No, it's never happened. It's a tariff that if this happens, then it takes effect. This has never the if has never happened. And the reason this tariff is there, and the reason Donald signed on to the tariff, was because it protected American dairy farmers. You're welcome. Explain it to me like I'm 5. Chesh, hold my Canadian beer. We will get the crayons. It's okay. If you have a handful of Smarties, shit, your Smarties are rockets. Those are different things. What do you have that are small? M&Ms? You've got a thing for the green M&Ms, right? So if you have 5 M&Ms and you want to export 2 M&Ms, those 2 M&Ms are not tariffed. If you have 10 M&Ms and you want to export 7 M&Ms, and the threshold for the number of M&Ms that are going to get tariffed is 5 M&Ms, then you are going to be tariffed on 2 M&Ms. But America has never passed over or gotten even close to ever sending over 5 M&Ms. I need a whiteboard.
In other words, you are not allowed to sell milk in Canada.
No! Wrong! Incorrect! A tariff is about selling! Why would a tariff exist if you weren't allowed to sell the product? You're stupid!
Produced in America. So I agree with Trump. If they're going to charge 250%, we should charge them 250%.
If they charge 200, wow, it's really convenient that that's never happened then. Congratulations! Yippee! We can all go back to normal now. Crisis averted, everybody. T-Bob has solved the issue.
That way it's even. Might as well just do away with it. And if Canada don't like that, fuck them. There's not a goddamn thing we need out of Canada.
Oh yeah? Then why does your president want us to be a state? If you don't need anything from us, and we're already a financial burden on your country, why do you want us to be a state? Freshwater regulations and treaties, hot ash, maple syrup, our alcohol, wine, whiskey, the trade route, maybe up north. No? Not a goddamn thing, eh? I get $1,000. You get a package of individually wrapped slices of artificially colored American cheese. I hate Kraft Singles cheese. I've always hated Kraft Singles cheese. We call it plastic cheese. We know it's not actually plastic cheese, but that's what we call it. It's disgusting and I hate it. And I think it needs to be launched into the fucking sun.
Trump has even said this multiple times. We don't need their lumber, we don't need their cars, we don't need their fucking milk.
Well, that's the fucking issue, though, isn't it? Donald Trump said it, therefore it's true and accurate. That's not a fallacy at all. I don't know what you mean.
We don't need any of it.
Okay, then fuck off. Why are you crying? Why are you complaining about your wheat? And why are you complaining about your bread prices, then, that you were at the beginning of this video, dipshit? Stop complaining and fuck off. Go do it then, right? That's what you want to tell us. Oh, well, they want to blah, 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 blah. Fuck them. All right, bye. Okay. So long. See you later.
Canada is bound to become a 51st state because without America, they go broke. You get a president in there.
So we're a charity case, and while Americans are suffering, you want to give money to Canada and take us on as a charity case? Do you see the logic here? Do you see the logic here? In that literally makes no sense. So either Trump has alternative motives that may or may not be driven by one Russian dictator, one Russian war criminal, or maybe some other self-interest that he may or may not have. Which again, I remind you that the Alaskan cruise ships are currently begging the states to change a law that is stranding them because British Columbia stopped refueling your cruise ships for you. You don't need us though, right? You don't need Canada. You don't fuck the farmers. Are you gonna go get your potash from Russia? Surely, when you have no other possible negotiating partner, Russia is definitely not going to gouge you for that at all, right? Mm-hmm. We don't need any of the things you make, and America doesn't make its own things. Yeah, big yikes. I'm not against, by the way, I'm not against America wanting to have and build more industry on their own soil. Like I don't think it's a bad thing for America to want American companies or want more companies coming to America. That's fine. Do that. That's great. This is not how you do that.
Thinks this way, a good president, he'll start using the trade to our advantage, fucking over Canada.
He'll start using the trade to his advantage, meaning that he's not trying to do that now, meaning what he's done so far has been an abject failure. Or, sorry, was that not what you meant to say? Was that just accidental? If Canada wouldn't exist, where would all the where would all the United States American TV shows be made? Yeah, I know, right? No more filming in British Columbia. No more filming in Ontario. No more filming in New Zealand. That's gonna be rough. Impeachment warnings issued. Ooh, breaking news. Warnings of an impeachment. Ooh. We'll see.
Like literally, we could fuck over Canada and force them to become a 51st state.
There's no declarations of war, nothing to see here. There's no threat to Canadian sovereignty. That's not, no American is attacking Canada. No. We're your friends. No. Why are you being mean to us? Donald Trump impeachment warning issued. Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna has warned that Donald Trump would face impeachment if the Republicans lose the House in 2016. I mean, yeah, obviously. I broke it. Oh, sorry, lose the House in 2026. Why did I say 2016? Lose the House in 2026. Yeah. Trump was impeached twice during his first term. Yeah, this is. Yeah. Yeah. The main reason why the Democratic Party hasn't impeached Trump yet is because they don't think that they can get it passed. This is a Republican trying to fearmonger and radicalize their base because they know they're losing in popularity.
I think Greenland should actually be the 51st state. I think they should come next. I don't. Maybe Canada the 52nd state. But who knows? I mean, Canada, the people could up and decide to, they're going to have to get rid of that piece of shit, Trudeau. The turd.
Trudeau! Justin Trudeau? Yeah, I'm sure. Like, have you been to Quebec? Do you really think someone like T-Bob would survive the attitude of of the Quebecois? Cause no, literally would just dissolve into a fine pink mist if just having like a confrontation with a singular person from Quebecois. One, they wouldn't be able to handle it. I am really on board with just everybody in Canada who isn't bilingual seriously consider learning French to the level of being bilingual just to piss off the Americans. You need to get rid of Trudeau. When was this streamed? Yesterday? 23 hours ago? My brother in Christ, Trudeau resigned. They had a new election. He is not our prime minister anymore and hasn't been for like over a week. One fucking French person looks at him and says tabernacle one time and the man's gonna melt. Absolutely, completely dissolve.
Turd do. They gotta get rid of turd over there first. You guys are gonna have to vote in somebody that's more of a Trump supporting kind of guy.
Why would Canada want to vote in Pierre Poilievre? And yes, Poilievre is a Trump-supporting kind of guy. Do you want me to pull up the polls from today and yesterday? You want to see what Canadians think about this? Let's just go on over to Blue Sky real quick. Let's go ahead and polling Canada. Yeah, go if you guys want to know what Canadians are polling. By all means, go check them out. Let's take a look-see, shall we? Who would roll over and accept whatever President Trump demands? 43% Poilievre. 40. So we have the opportunity that T-Bob is talking about. We have the opportunity to vote in our Trump sort of guy. And how is he actually doing? Who would be a tough negotiator? Who would get the best deal for Canada from President Trump? 48% Carney. Alright. Who would unite Canadians on the changes and investments required to make us less dependent on the United States? 46% Carney. Oh, okay. Alright, well, let's look at some data points. We'll just scroll down a little bit here. Liaison poll, March 16th to 18th. Liberal Party 40% plus 7 points in the federal polling. 36% drop for a plus 2. NDP negative 10% for a negative 8. The Bloc Québécois, by the way, is 6, negative 2. GPC 4 plus 2. PPC negative 3, 2%. The PPC, which was like the closest thing to like an American Republican Party that existed in Canada, is almost non-existent, and they will likely fail to then be, they're likely not going to get any seats, and they're likely not going to be an official party of Canada because of this. Look at that swing. Look at this swing. You fucking thought? You fucking thought. Let me go back down so you guys can see it a little easier. Sorry, I got cut off a little bit. Look at this! Look at this swing! Bonk! Whomp! This swing is insanity! 128, 182. You want to know exactly what Canada thinks about becoming the 51st or 52nd or any state of any kind? Yeah, we have our opportunity to vote in a Trump-friendly person, and we're fucking not gonna do it.
Not that piece of shit. I forgot his name that's running now. It looks like he might win the election. He's got a good chance.
You mean Mark Carney? Mark Carney, who won an 83% liberal vote? 83%? He won every seat. Surprise! Yeah. You want to know about the piece of shit Mark Carney? Like and subscribe, because I'll introduce you guys to Carney next week. Because I'm a helper. I'm about that. On a serious note, would the continued actions and behaviors of these MAGA cultists keep up the positive swing in Canada? Yo, yes. Absolutely. The more Canadians know about people like fucking Trumpster Bob and like we already got our taste of the MAGA crazies with the Freedom Convoy, and Canadians weren't fucking into it. And it's only going to stuff like this is just going to enable that swing. We don't appreciate the threats. We don't appreciate the bullies. We don't appreciate fascism or authoritarianism. And you can see that in our polling. The propaganda is literally an advertisement to support the liberals. So, one of the things, I should record it one time. There's an ad flying around that is that's an ad for the Conservative Party, where they're like, they take a clip of Carney on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, where Jon Stewart said, "Oh, you sneaky, you're running as an independent." And they cut out, then they just took John calling him sneaky and him like having a normal, laughy, jovial conversation on a comedy show. And are trying to present that of like, Mark Carney, he's just like Justin. Justin Trudeau's polling since his resignation and since Trump took office and started tariffs have gone upwards. Comparing, they spent years, and so much money just simply trying to slander Justin Trudeau. And again, it's not that there aren't things that Justin Trudeau did right or did wrong. I'm not debating that. They attempted to slander him in the public eye, and they were successful until crisis happened. From 2020 all the way to 2025, they spent the last 5 years, because COVID, Justin polled incredibly well. Trudeau did fantastically during the pandemic. And then the conservative MPs, the people who are running the provinces, so like your Doug Ford, for example, started slandering the federal government, the Liberal government, for not doing things which were actually in control of by the parliamentary. Sorry, not the parliamentary, the provinces. So like, for example, if you don't like long wait times in hospitals in Ontario, that's not the federal government's responsibility. That's the responsibility of the province of Ontario, which is Doug Ford. That's the Conservatives. It is Doug Ford's responsibility. That's up to him. He needs to do that. So when he sits there and complains about the federal government and uses long wait times in the hospital, he is actually complaining about something that he has control over and is trying to hand over that power to the federal government, which in that case was the Liberal Party at the time. Right? So they spent 5 years slandering him, bashing him publicly. And he resigned. And now they're trying to take everything that they tried to do for the last year to Justin and try to shift it onto Mark Carney by saying Mark Carney is just like Justin and starting to try to slander him. And it's not working, because not only did Justin do fantastically and has handled Donald Trump incredibly well, but also he will be remembered as somebody who did their fucking best. All of the slander is all but fucking forgotten, except by a handful of people that are so fucking deep in propaganda, like Trumpster Bob, that they're fucking ridiculous and nobody cares. It doesn't fly in Canada. It doesn't work the same way here. By the way, Polyev, just so you know, our little mini Trump, has been backing and has backed Russian assets trying to disrupt Canadian and interfere in Canadian politics. There was a whole investigation into it. Present for 5, which puts us 1 away from the unleashing of the spice. Just finished the newest episode of Legal Eagle. Shit really hitting the fan, eh? Holy shit. You know what? I should catch up on Legal Eagle, because I have not watched the last couple of episodes of his, so I should catch up. But yeah, shit do be hitting the fan. Y'all should thank us for voting in Trump. We helped Canada. I mean, yeah, Trump has definitely helped steer Canada a complete fucking U-turn.
Supposed to be for the right, but he doesn't favor Trump. He's not a friend of Trump, so fuck him. Let him take over and then spank his fucking ass around like he's a little puppet bitch.
Puppet of whomst? Who do you think Mark Carney is a puppet of? And yeah, good luck. I cannot wait to see that. I cannot wait to watch Mark Carney interacting with Donald Trump, which, by the way, he's refusing to do. Mark Carney has said, stop the threats, stop the tariffs, stop threatening our country, treat us with some fucking respect, and then we can talk. Until then, no. Which I think is a fantastic fucking move. PP, which is Pierre Polyev, who I was just talking about, Landon says, PP refuses to undergo security clearance check because PP knows what they ought to find. Yes. One of the very big things that Canadians and the Liberal Party have been critical about when it comes to Pierre Polyev and PP is because he refuses to get his security clearance. Something that he could have... It took Carney 2 months to get it. He has had access to be able to do that. He hasn't bothered in the last 3 years.
And then Canada might end up voting to become a state.
Pick your
Whether they like
nose!
Trump or not.
Yeah, alright, good luck.
Because now you got free trade. Because now you're part of the country, so we can just have free trade and travel. It wouldn't be like going to a foreign nation.
You already had free trade. That's what the free trade agreements were about, you dumb motherfucker. You already have free travel. Currently, Canadians and Americans can travel across the border with little to no additional work with simply a passport. You used to only need a fucking driver's license until America changed that because of fucking 9/11. You know, 9/11, that fucking thing that happened, that America freaked out and has never stopped freaking out about and dragged a bunch of other countries about fucking lies into war on their behalf, utilizing Article 5 of, you know, remember that thing? NATO? That NATO thing? You forget about that? God, these motherfuckers don't know what the hell they're talking about. Which, by the way, side note as well, on top of these travel agreements, an American or a Canadian currently, for now, can stay in one country or another for 6 months, basically without any questions asked. Present for 5 said, one more to spice up, Chesh. All for it. Alright, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let me just switch on over here. Let's take a look at what number we got to. We got 20 out the gate from Jessica, so we're taking a swig. No dips here. 20, 25, 30, 42. 42, so off we go. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Oh my god, we finally got one we already opened, and this is the face I put on it. I don't remember what these taste like, but that was the sticker I put on it. So this is Abducted. That's what it looks like. I really need to get that to focus better. I don't know how to fix that. It is, oh, it's the mango habanero. Let's go. And thank you so much, Mr. Present, for the memberships. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Who got those? It looks like Crusher got one, Jason got one, Rodent got one, Chanley got one, Becca got one, Shinzo got one, Dirty Uncle Sal got one, Dev got one, Red Eye got one, Pibblemunk got one, Stitching got one, Philith got one, McDoodle got one, Auto Reject, West Side Girl Reacts, Yokai Lover, Don Giovanni, Smitty got one, Alias, and Glenn. Congratulations, thank you so much. Enjoy your puck emojis in the chat. One ear up. Alright, I am going to... I remember liking this one, but thinking that it needed to be in food, so, double tap, bottoms up. Ooh. Yeah, no, that's a good face. Ooh. Ooh, that's good. It's got an after, like the burn comes after. The initial taste, quite good. The burn definitely comes after. But I like that one. That's a good one. Can we get that one again? 42. 42 is that one. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. I'm not going to start another one because we're going to be wrapping up momentarily. Let's let Trumpster Bob finish his spiel though, while my mouth starts watering and falling apart and I start spitting everywhere.
It'd just be like going to another state.
Oh, that's right. That was the other thing I was going to add. Canada doesn't even have free trade between its provinces. So, like, if you go to Canada, that's changing. Thanks, Trump, I guess. Hats off to you. But there isn't free trade between the provinces. So, like, if you make wine in British Columbia, and you want to send it to Alberta, Saskatchewan, you have to pay there's additional taxes and legislation and all kinds of hoops you gotta jump through. So it is very unlikely that you will find a BC or a Nova Scotian wine in an Ontario LCBO, a LICBO, as it were, in an alcohol store in Canada. So even if Canada was part of the United States, you would have to rework all of that, and good fucking luck. That's not how that works. On top of that, that's changing, and hopefully for the better, where we are opening trade up with our provinces amongst each other. Why? Bro, I don't fucking know. Why is it like that? I couldn't tell you. I'll have to research that. You know what? As those agreements start to change, I'll get the history for you and put that together when more of that's happened. So once we get oh my god. Once we get more into that, probably in the upcoming year, I'll make sure to have that information more readily available for you. The provinces are much more independent from the federal government versus the US states. Yes, that's actually a really good answer. Why? It's just sort of the way our government works, but if you want like the actual history, I'll have to get back to you on it. True that Canada is thinking about joining the EU. Yes, we're already tertiarily part of trade agreement. We have trade agreements with the EU. Canada, it has been, and Mark Carney in particular is definitely very interested in diversifying Canada's portfolio. This is something that Justin Trudeau has been working on since he's been in office, and a lot of the groundwork has actually already been done, and some of these agreements have already been made. But America has gifted Canada with quite the opportunity to be able to expand that portfolio and be able to expand those trade agreements. And making the EU wanting to do that and set that up and join up with a more forward-thinking, future-focused country as opposed to your currently incredibly regressive America. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to call this. I don't mean to be offensive when I call America regressive, but this current administration is doing nothing but setting America back years and stunting America's growth in the future. So I don't know what else to call that besides regressive. You found a mug? Send it to me. Send it to me through Temu. I'd be comfortable enough giving Feline my address if you need to send it to me. By the way, you can actually send me alcohol because our liquor store takes online orders and you can set anybody to pick them up, which means you can just mail. It works like a PO box for booze.
I think that would be pretty cool if we did that with Canada. My only fear
Why
with
do you want that if you hate us?
Canada is they got a lot of fucking radicals up there in comparison to what their population is. And
Radical!
they got a big population that votes to the left. And I don't want Canada as a state if they're predominantly voting to the left. Because that tells me they got.
You mean that your desire to take over Canada is to actually dominate and remove what Canadians believe is best for their country and impose your own beliefs like an authoritarian, a foreign authoritarian country attempting to change and sway and oppress a neighboring country? Yeah, there's no threats of war. There's no declarations of war going on. That's not a thing that exists. I don't know what you're fucking talking about. We would like Canada, but but be aware that Germany puts a bit of money into the military, a total of 500 billion. Yes, Germany has announced a larger amount of money into the military. Canada has also announced a larger amount of money. So has France. France has also talked about Denmark? Danes. Danish sending more troops and resources and things both in Greenland and for the people of Danish space. The Danes. I feel weird calling them Danes. I don't know why. It just feels weird in my mouth. France has already been talking about putting more troops in Greenland because of people like this. Jax for 5 said, special thanks to America for motivating the world to leave you behind. What a great inspiration you have been. Here's something. All right, we're gonna take a break from T-Bob, and we're gonna look to start wrapping this up, and maybe we'll let me know in the comment section if you want me to continue on with this. But that will be next week. One thing that I do want to point out is that Canada has been, one of the things that Justin Trudeau was criticized for was liaisoning and trying to make more agreements with other countries, one of them being China. Trying to negotiate, and he's been a negotiator going and shaking hands and making friends around the world. Canada has been working on, and I think the EU, at least if not since Trump's first presidency, since probably Afghanistan, since America called Article 5, and then ever since America called Article 5 on false pretenses, and dragged everybody into an invasion that was unjustified, by lying to everybody. The veto power that America has abused against the Palestinian people, as well as now this Trump swing towards Russia and abuse and bullying and attacking of other countries. I think that something that was already happening has simply been made a lot more public, and the public are a lot more on board with it. If Trudeau had just come out and said, America's a fucking problem, and we're going to start separating the Canadian industry and Canadian trade agreements away from America, he would have gotten a lot of pushback from the Canadian people. The Canadian people would have been like, what? Why are we doing that? We're like, they're our friends, they're our neighbors, we get along with them great. Why would you do something like that? But this is something that has been happening. One of the things that Trudeau has done and had been working on for a long time was slowly untangling Canada from Americans' both their politics as well as their economic tie-ins. Brain. Yeah, we're boycotting Amazon in Canada. So agreements have been made with other, like, European countries. As well as, like, Canada and Mexico are currently just shaking hands over top of, they're steepling over top of America, getting fucked on either end. And so I think that this is something that is already going on, and has been going on and has been in the works. It's just now a matter of that trigger being pulled. And everybody and their mother feels incredibly justified to do it. So the countries like Macron, like Starmer, are and like Carney are far more comfortable being far more public in doing it because they know that their population, they are backed by the people of their respective countries. And so now that their people of the respective countries are on board with it, it's become and Trump made it a very, very public thing. So now it's just a matter of like, yeah, no, fuck this thing that we were already checking out already. Yeah, Eiffel Towering. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's also called pig roasting, which I think is far more appropriate for Trump. But alas, for little old Donald and his Russian piss tape. Alas, well, that's just my opinion. I don't know for sure. There are things that have indicated to me that that's been the direction the EU has been going. I think Brexit was a really big distraction. It's admittedly more than that and more of a problem and a big issue for people in the UK. I feel for you on that one. But I think that there was other shit going on in the EU that made it that, or in the EU as well as Europe as a whole, that made it not really the case. I think Trump might have accidentally just gotten Russia absolutely destroyed. For this ceasefire thing, Putin's been stalling, as he does. But every other country is announcing how they're upping the money, upping the amount of military support for Ukraine, and Putin giving them time to do so is, I I guess we'll see. I don't know, but this might be the beginning of the end of Russia's oppressive domineering of not only other countries but also of its own states that would otherwise not be Russian if they were not. Expect Russia to get smaller soon. And expect America to. I don't know what's gonna happen to Alaska. Alaska's fucking boned right now. Realistically, we'll see. It very much depends on the American people. It's up to you guys. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I don't know. You tell me. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you so much for the support. I greatly appreciate it. Extra special thanks to Present, Pibble Monk, Jessica, Jax. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate it. I will be back on Debate Hub on Saturday, where we're going to be talking about modern centrism, so please go join us for that. It's going to be a grand old time, and that'll be on Debate Hub. It is now at Debate Hub Official, if you're looking for us. It is over there. There is also the Tavern coming up next Saturday, and I will be on Low Energy Vids next Wednesday on the 26th. We're talking about Final Fantasy shit. Hell yeah, let's go. So, thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back next week. I'm going to actually introduce you to Carney, and maybe we'll watch more of Trumpster Bob's video over here, because this is fucking dumb as shit. Thank you so much, and if you have any Maga people you want me to do a takedown of, one Canadian versus all of Maga, let's fucking go. Send them my way. We'll talk more, and hopefully I will have some footage for you coming up soon of a Tesla protest happening at a place near you. Thank you so much. I'm going to get out of here. And I will see you next time. Bye.
Fuck that guy and his fucking YouTube videos. Stop listening to a man who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, you idiots!